So this is the indexer that we're going to do a demonstration on adjusting the tension of the comb using the cammed bearings right there. I'm going to have somebody else do this as I kind of talk through it. Right now it's already pre-adjusted, so we're just going to loosen it up only on one side. The idea is you're going to adjust both sides of the cam so you have an even pressure on it, and the comb is lined up square on both sides of the running shaft. So I'll go ahead and loosen up just this side right here, and we'll show a loose comb and then go back over, and we'll play with some tightening. We'll basically over tighten it, kind of showing how difficult it would be to rotate the bearing, and then go back and tighten it with some rotation with some friction. So hopefully you can see that we have some movement, some sloppiness here, and I'm actually picking the bearing up off there. You can see that. So it's obviously too loose. So we want to make it to where we can't do that. And so we'll go ahead and tighten this back up. We're going to rotate that cam as we do it to lock it down. And put some pressure on it, and it's going to be probably a little too tight intentionally, just so you can see the difference of, hey, this is too much, so we want to back it off. And you hold it and lock it in place, and again we're going to be cognizant of keeping the comb parallel. And now that we've done that, you can see that as we put some pressure on that bearing and try and rotate it, I can't get a good angle here, there we go. It's some stiffness to it. He's rotating it, but it's very tight, and that's too much. So we're going to go through now, loosen that cam back up, and readjust it. So we do have the ability to rotate it with some friction drag on it, but not too much. And you know, it's going to be subject to opinion, I guess. Hopefully this video will show it a little bit cleanly. You can see him turning it, and if I had to give some statement as to the amount of drag there is on here, I guess I would say that it should be, you should feel it pulling on your thumb and giving some resistance, but it doesn't take much pressure of your thumb on it to overcome the resistance and then spin it. The idea is to keep a nice smooth running up and down the shaft, and keep a constant pressure against the shaft so there's no wobbling of the comb assembly itself, yet it's not so tight that we're putting so much side load on the bearings, on the drive nuts on the back, that obviously it causes damage. It will be tighter at this lower end here because of this block and the gussets that are here, as compared to the upper end. As you get up here on this top end, there's no support, and it allows for some flex, so it won't be quite as tight. As I'm sure you've already noticed from your other elevators, that you can have it where it's tight on the bottom and a little sloppy on top. You have to find a good balance point with that. There's no magic to it, it's just a matter of getting a feel for it, and once you've done it a few times, obviously you get the hang of it. With so many of these out there in the field operating right now, basically it's not that big of a deal, and they work well. Obviously these have had some issues in your case with some changes we made. If we flip this assembly up, we now at this point have the drive nut on the top and the slip nut on the bottom, and this one is the turkite material. So we're going to ship this to you just like that, and hopefully you can use that as a reference for your other stuff and get past the situation. Thank you.